For this, we're going to learn about opportunity cost and how to calculate opportunity cost. We learned in Chapter 1 the definition of opportunity cost is the highest valued alternative that we must give up to get something. So it's not the accumulation of all things we have to give up, it's just the next best alternative. So in this scenario, we have two things that we could make, either tea or cookies. Tea and cookies. So if I'm making 0 cups of teas, I have enough resources to produce 50 cookies. But as I continue to increase my tea I'm producing, I now have less resources to produce cookies. So as I increase the amount of tea I make, I'm able to produce less cookies. So as I increase tea to 10 cups, now I'm having to reduce cookies down to 35. And as I increase from 10 to 15 teacups, I now have to reduce my production of cookies down to 20, etc. So what we want to do is we want to look at this in two different ways. Let's say I ask you a question that says, if we increase our production of tea from 5 to 10 cups, what is the opportunity cost of those 5 cups? So when we go from 5 cups of tea to 10 cups of tea, we are gaining 5 cups of tea. Okay, but in order to do that, we're using resources, and when we use resources, we have to give up something else. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to give up cookies. So here we're gaining 5 cups of tea, but we're going from 45 to 35 cookies. So we're losing 45 minus 35, which is 10 cookies. So in this example, we gain 5 cups of tea, and our opportunity cost of gaining that 5 cups of tea is those 10 cookies that we had to forego. If we went from 10 to 15 cups of tea, we would be going from 35 to 20 cookies. Okay, so in this circumstance, we would be gaining 5 cups of tea, but 35 minus 20 is now 15 cookies. Okay, so that's how we calculate if the question is asking, for example, for 5 cups of tea, but that's not always how it's going to be asked. Sometimes we want to know what is the opportunity cost of just 1 cup of tea. So the opportunity cost of 1 cup of tea is going to be different on different levels of tea. So if we go from 0 to 5, we're losing 5 cookies. But if we go from 5 to 10 cups of tea, we're losing 10 cookies. So that the opportunity cost is going to change depending on where we are looking at on our table. So let's say we're going from 10 cups of tea to 15 cups of tea. So we'll say the opportunity cost of 1 cup of tea when going from 10 cups of tea to 15 cups of tea. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in a ratio. And when we do a ratio, whatever we're trying to find the opportunity cost of, in this case tea, we're going to put that in the bottom of our ratio. So we're going to do the change in cookies divided by the change in tea. Okay, so here our change in cookies is going to be that 35 minus 20 cookies, and our change in tea is going to be the 10 to 15, which is 15 minus 10 cups of tea. So now we have 15 divided by 5, that'd be 15 cookies, and over 5 tea. So that's going to be 3 cookies per 1 cup of tea. Okay, so what that tells us is that every time we produce 1 cup of tea in this range right here, we forego the opportunity to produce 3 cookies. Okay, so that's how we would calculate the opportunity cost of 1 unit of something. Remember to always put what you're looking for the opportunity cost of in the bottom of that fraction. Here we were looking for the opportunity cost of tea. That was in the bottom of our fraction. Okay.